Good afternoon. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Mike Beaver, Director of Market Intelligence for Nasdaq's Corporate Client Group. And on behalf of the entire team here at Nasdaq, we'd like to welcome the National Urban League to our market site and closing ceremony. To continue our ceremony, I would now like to introduce John Jacobs, Executive Vice President for the Nasdaq stock market, for further comments. John?
Thank you very much. It is indeed a pleasure to be here today and to welcome the National Urban League and Marc Morial as the President and CEO to close the Nasdaq market at the end of a busy day today. The National Urban League is quite an organization. As we were talking, it's an organization about action, about getting things done. It has a long and important storied history and great beginnings, but also very relevant to today with over 100 affiliate chapters in 35 different states and the District of Columbia. I first came across the organization back in the early 1980s. I am dating myself a little bit, but in the 1980s in Washington, D.C. And I know you're working today, as we talked about, working with the victims of Katrina as they are being displaced, and some may not be able to go back to New Orleans and as they have to relocate to other cities. So, again, as an organization that is about action, that is about getting things done, we really applaud your mission and think there can't be a better way and a better organization to have us celebrate here closing the market today. So please join me in welcoming the President and CEO, Mr. Marc Morial of the National Urban League.
Thank you. It's indeed a pleasure to be able to participate in this ceremony today. And I want to thank all the NASDAQ member companies as well as NASDAQ and their employees for the generosity that they showed in contributing to the relief efforts with Hurricane Katrina and Hurricane Rita. And I know they'll do the same with Hurricane Wilma if, hopefully, there won't be any long-term victims. I also want everyone to know that the National Urban League, now almost 100 years old, is working very, very closely in cities across the country to connect people to jobs and housing. It's our primary work, it's our primary mission, as well as working with children. And with Hurricane Katrina victims, we're working with them in communities such as Houston, Dallas, Oklahoma City, and Baton Rouge to try to help them find a way to rebuild their lives after this very, very difficult natural disaster. Indeed, it's a pleasure being here today. Once again, I want to thank NASDAQ, its member companies, as well as all of their employees for their generosity and for their support. The National Urban League empowers communities and changes lives. Thank you.
To commemorate your closing the market today and celebrate, we'd like to present this to you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, our pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
The earnings are going up and the prices are going down, Stu. Well,
may it continue. May it continue.
As the bell rings, the markets close on their highs for the day. All of your average S&P, Dow, and Nasdaq rallying to close at one of the highest, or one of the biggest rallies, I should say, we've seen in more than a month. Stuart Schweitzer, Bob, we'll see you on the other side of the bell. There is the closing bell as the second hour of the closing bell.
S&P and Nasdaq all close out the session higher as the closing bell
by the way, the Dow 170 points higher to 10,386. You can thank President Bush and Ben Bernanke for a big part of that. The Nasdaq is closing 31 points higher, 1.5% to 2,115. Wolf?
He hasn't even been confirmed yet. He's already doing well for the markets.
Right.
We'll see how he does once he's confirmed, assuming he will be confirmed.